Hey guys, I know I said I was going to do a genealogy video next. Well, change of plans. I am going to do a genealogy video, but first I need to talk about what I just went through. I just witnessed a horrific scene. I was walking home from dropping my books off in the library drop-off because I can't walk up the stairs. Hopefully, I'll be able to walk up the steps at the church tomorrow. I mean, they're not very steep, so it shouldn't be an issue. Anyway, I was walking by the local baseball field because it's on the little road between my road and the main route through town. And I saw a very squished squirrel and a block of wood with blood coming out from underneath it. I thought somebody beat the squirrel to death. So I called the police. I said, I don't want some little kid seeing this. And they came out, they investigated, they did find where it had been hit in the road. They just called me to tell me. They said, somebody moved it there? I said, yeah, and maybe put it out of its misery because I saw the blood coming from under the block of wood. And it was a block of wood, like a square block of wood. It was about 18 inches long by maybe 4 inches wide. It was a chunk of a 2x4, basically. No, wider than that. It was thicker than a 2x4, actually, but it was square. And it was about, like I said, 18 inches long. And about maybe 4 inches wide. So how you would lift it up with that, I do not know. But someone got it out of the road, evidently, and maybe put it out of its misery. That's what I think. I think they walloped it on the head because it was dying from its injuries to its belly, and they walloped it on the head. That's what I think. I thought some disturbed individual beat it to death. Fortunately, that was not the case. So they're sending our local highway department to come pick it up. Ooh, I feel bad for them. Sorry, Adam. That's the head of our highway department's name. But yeah, that's beyond gruesome. And I was already having kind of a, well, it's not morning, but a tough morning, which is why I got up as late as I did, because I was having a tough time. Because of the dream I had. It was very emotional. So between, trying to deal with the dream and and come to terms with it, and then seeing that was like, I mean, that would have been gross anytime, but when you're already dealing with grief, I'll just tell you quickly what the dream was. The dream was about Doug. It was about they had this live presentation of something having to do with, in my dream world, the last movie we went to together. I dreamt about us going to the movies many times over the years. They're usually good dreams, This was not good. And so but I wouldn't classify it as a nightmare, just very sad. So I was at this thing, and guy who starred in the movie was having us, was basically presenting this main thing that was in the movie, and some of the actors were sort of doing a play around, because he got to keep this main part because he created the movie. I think I called it a talisman in my dream. It's not what it was. It was like a spinning wheel, but there were other parts to it, and it brought them to other places and stuff in the movie. And so we had to write down our thoughts on the presentation, and there were people in 2 different rooms. And I was too far away, so I moved. I moved a couple of times. And Doug's spirit kept following me and sitting next to me. Because it was the last movie we saw together. It was a movie based around this prop. And I had asked the man if I could take a picture with the prop when it was over. You know, the big wheel and parts that go with it. And I explained to him in tears why. And he said, that's fine. And at the end, he had taken it down before I had a chance to take the picture. I said, wait a minute, where is it? And he got really mad at me and kind of chased me out. And I met my ride. And of course, one thing that is always in my dreams is I can't use a telephone in my dreams. Cannot use one. In this case, couldn't even find it. I can't use a telephone in my dreams. It's a constant. And so, yeah. So with that heavy on my mind, and then seeing that horrific scene with that squirrel, I'm glad one of the officers was nice enough to call me back. That was very nice. She did not have to do that. But they did investigate and found where the squirrel had been hit. So that's good. Like I said, with that on my mind and then finding the squirrel, it was like, okay, emotional overload, you know? So I just wanted to kind of talk to you about that, and that's what I'll call this video, emotional overload. I'm going to do the genealogy video. Do not forget, tomorrow there will be a video over on the wrestling channel, Tony Atlas, Too Much Too Soon. And oops, I did it again. There we go. Okay. I'm working on my does for May, so I have that in the background as well. Whoop. So thank you for joining me. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Sometimes my facial recognition actually does work. Sometimes. So thank you so much. God bless you, and I will see you next time.